Welcome, folks, all you out there in YouTube. I'm Robert, or Robovsky, and I'm gonna take you through 7 grand steps. Now, what's gonna happen? Well, I'm gonna break this up into useful categories. So right now, I'm just gonna cover the basics, okay? And the best way to do that with you is to really kind of start the tutorial and go along with you. We'll cover all the subject matter in a way that maybe the tutorial doesn't quite cover it as we go. Because I know some of you are more audio-visual learners, and I think this is a great game, and I think it's a weird little combination of Slot Machine and Crusader Kings and Great Ages of Rome, and it's it's rather unique. So give it a go. So here we go. I'm going to start the tutorial, and you can follow along with me as we go. Right, so as we can see, we roll up to the wheel. Father Ket dreamed of escaping from crocodiles. To place his pawn on the wheel, spend a token. Tokens always go into slots. Now, this is the only time you're going to be placing your token on the game in the tutorial. Normally, when you start a family, you will start with their family member on the wheel. So we're taking this token here, as you can see, this thing, and we're dropping it in the slot. Tokens always go into slots. Ingots go into slots too, but tokens always go into slots. And we'll cover ingots when they get there. But there's Father Ket. Down here at the bottom is the crocs, and this is the wheel, and this is our objective, but we're going to cover this more. As you can see here in the upper corner, it's the Copper Age. Now, the Copper Age, farming has supplied food for thousands of years, but the seed, plow, and irrigation turned great rivers into vast gardens. Their bounty built cities with spears could be spared to collect taxes. Now, we're going to start out as a laborer, and we don't have any choice in that. We start at the bottom. And where else are you going to start? Yeah, it's going to be the bottom. Trail of symbols led Ket away from the crocs, the dangerous crocs down here. To save Ket spend any of the 3 tokens, his pawn will move to the symbol on the token. Now, as you can see here on the wheel, we have this bricky looking thing, this wavy thing, and this bottly looking thing. Well, that's masonry, irrigation, and brewing. Okay. And here's our crocs. Each croc has its own name, by the way, and the croc we're watching out for is Poverty. The crocodile eats menial task workers of the labor class. They are chewy but flavorful. So, as you can see, if I spend like this masonry token, I'm going to move here. If I spend the brewery token, I'm going to move to here. And if I spend the irrigation token, I'm going to move to here. Spending the irrigation token means I'm not going to move very much at all. So I'm going to spend the masonry token. As you can see, I've moved up to the masonry spot and away from the crocs. I move to the symbol on the token. Move Ket again. Try to reach the symbol under the bouncing bead. Now, bouncing beads are longer term objective points. So we want that, and it's on the brewing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend the brewing token and just go directly there and hold on to our irrigation token. We could spend the irrigation token and then spend the brewing token, but that's wasteful. Right, 8 legend points. Fill the stack with beads and you'll earn a legend. And you're like, legends? What's that? To earn a legend, fill the stack with beads. Legends strengthen your family against the coming challenge of the age. There are 3 legend types. Discovery legends win tokens and new skills. Social climbing legends offer more valuable beads and new opportunities. Heroic legends are risky adventures for many rewards. Currently, Selk and Ket are striving for a discovery. Now, Selk is our wife, who has not been introduced yet, but what's this challenge of the age thing here? Time is now the Copper Age. Before the next age begins, that's when we move to the Bronze Age, your family will be challenged. They must survive historic circumstances that ended the age. Usually, when all of a track's discoveries have been made, one age ends, another begins, and the wheel will actually be physically removed and replaced. Discovery legends give advantages against that track's challenge. Social advancement delays the onset of the new age because higher tracks have more discoveries. and the advantages from heroic legends apply to all challenges. So your heroism counts no matter what track it's on. You want to be on higher tracks if you want to put it off, because there are more discoveries. There's more slots and there's more skills on higher tracks, basically. And the discoveries give advantages against the challenge. It's stuff that you guys know, like if you discover new technologies and things like that. Right, so, now, because we didn't spend our irrigation token, we can now move ahead and grab this irrigation token right here. So that's what we're going to do. Bink. 4 more points. And Mother Silk joins us. Yay! Mother Silk awakes Ket from the dream of escaping poverty. Catch me and we can work together. To make tokens, drag the ingot top left to her slot. Now this is the ingot. It's kind of rectangular, has an owl on it, and use this to manufacture tokens, hopefully. Whenever you drop a token in a slot, the character that you've dropped it on will move back to a space on the board occupied by someone else that still has a space next to it. So, in this case, Mother Silk will fall back to Father Ket. If, for some reason, I were to play the ingot on Father Ket, because there's no one behind Father Ket, he would suffer from fear of crocs, and not likely make much in the way of tokens, because his skill would be greatly reduced, and he would stand still. Right, so I'm going to play the token as instructed of the ingot on Mother Silk. She falls back. They make tokens. Woo! And look at that. Nice tokens. Silk used the ingot to make tokens. Silk and Ket have completed their turns. To start the next turn, click the wheel center. Now that's this here, this big button. And, you can press this button even if you still have things you can do. So, and the game's not going to warn you that, hey, you didn't do the stuff. So, watch it. Press the button when you're certain you're ready to press the button. Because this is a turn-based game. Okay, now I'm going to press the button. As you can see, the wheels moved a little bit further. Start each turn making tokens. Never run low. Use the ingot to make more tokens. When parents work together, a child might be born. Now, don't start every turn by making tokens. But in this case, we're going to, because we need a kid. If without kids, this game is over. Because, quite frankly, it's not just about Father Ket. It's about what Father Ket's kids did, and what their kids did, and what their kids did, and so on 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 and so on. So you're going to need to have kids. As you can see, we can have up to 7 kids from here on the top. That's the slots where the kids go. And honestly, there's pros and cons about having lots of kids, and we'll get into that later. But right now, well, let's have a look here. So we're going to make Mom do the token thing. There we go. And, ooh, look, Love Child, right away. Children don't have pawns, but they use tokens too. Now, drag a token to a slot. This is for the purpose of educating the child. Right now, the child knows nothing, basically. Has an F rating in every skill of the track. So, that would be brewing, masonry, and irrigation currently. Why is it an F? Because that's where they start. There are exceptions to that, but that happens with promotion. This kid, or when discoveries are made, this kid right now needs to be educated because this is your future. This kid or one of these other kids is going to be who you're going to be playing next. And if this kid isn't educated, they're not going to be able to make tokens. And if they can't make tokens, you end up getting eaten by crocs. It's pretty simple as that. We have 4 masonry tokens, so that's what we're going to use to educate right now. As you can see, we now have a D. The skills go from F, D, C, B, A, AA, AAA, and Indie. And the game is not going to tell you this. Tokens raise children's skills until they are adults. Adults make tokens based on their skills. Teach the child well for future success. To start next turn, click the wheel center. And, yeah, totally. We have nothing else we can do. So, here we go. No instructions this time. Free play. We're able to do what we want. Now, here's what the beads are worth, right? First to land on a bead, and a bead has never been landed on if it's whole, if it's round. So, white... excuse me. White whole beads are 4 points. Green whole beads are 6 points. And you can see the blue and gold ones there, which we're not going to have the opportunity to have at the moment. Half beads are what's left over after someone's visited it once, and white half beads are worth 2, green ones worth 3, blue worth 4, and gold worth 5. Basically half as much. So, what can we do with that? Well, here's a fun thing. These guys love each other, and I know this. So, because they love each other, I can use one of them to slingshot the other one forward. Like so. First off, we put Ket here on the masonry. He's picked up the 4 points from the landing on that token. Now I'm going to use the other masonry token on Selk here, and she's going to jump forward to the next masonry spot because he loves her. Impetus of love. It's a brilliant thing. So not only did she pick up the half points that was still here, the 2 points here, but she picked up this first strike on this second spot here down the line. Being closer to the edge here means that she's going to be able to do different things. She can fall back towards Ket and make tokens, or if there's other people in here on the track, they'd be, you can interact with them. We'll get into that in a bit. But loving, as it says, a loving spouse boosts a pawn to the same symbol beyond. You kind of slingshot your way forward, and it's a great way to get points for your goals. Now I'm going to put an irrigation token on the boy. And because we did the slingshot thing, we could have another kid if we want. We can try to have another kid if we want. I'm going to go with the one kid right now, although having multiple kids is a thing. There's definitely dangers to only having one kid because people do die on the bottom track, especially in the Copper Age. Famine strikes, you beg for food, the priests turn you down, next thing you know, everybody's dead. Or all your kids are dead, or like the youngest are dead. Excuse me, do apologize. So, I'm just gonna... There we go. So, what next? Well, as you can see, we can't do anything. So we're going to press the old button again. Right. Token supply is low. Remember, Ingot tells parents to make tokens. Well, that is true. And as you can see, what we have here is Now, bringing them together to make tokens is a useful thing. How to do it is more a matter of strategy. In this case, I'm going to move him forward the one to grab that. And a discovery happens, because we just got all the way to 80 points. Lintel broke, Mason swore, collapsing entrance, toppled Ket from the scaffold. Weak stone, he whispered, coming to. The Mason accused Ket. You broke it! Work crew left Ket lying where he fell. Night came and shivered him. Ket looked up. A crescent moon bridged the entrance, replacing the broken crosspiece. Weak stone. It was easy to crack into smaller pieces. When a mason arrived the next morning, the pieces formed a sturdy arc over the entrance. Feeling surpassed, the mason demolished its clever beauty. So now we're replacing masonry with a brand new discovery, archways. And look at that. We just got 10 tokens. Selk and Ket have discovered the arch. Next, they wish to climb in society. Collect 65 points to win their goal. Thereafter, you can choose goals. So, they're being socially progressive. That's what the key is here, by the way. The radio tower-looking one is discovery, and the head with, like, the wing helmet is heroism. Now, there's a couple advantages to what we just did. First off, this boy is now going to have a grade of C in the new technology. because he was with us before the discovery. Now, if we'd had another kid, we'd already be able to, he'd have the same thing. The masonry skill I did spend on him has been wasted, unfortunately, and any masonry tokens I did have been discharged and have been replaced with the 10 arch tokens. Now, anyone else playing on the track, their masonry tokens have been destroyed, but their masonry skill is F. I mean, their arch skill is F. And so this is a short-term strong advantage for us in that we now have quite a few tokens and gaps on the board that other people can't use. Excuse me. I do apologize. Seem to be drying out. Right, so send Mama back to Papa. And then I'm going to spend an arch token on the boy. See? Because it was a C, it's already gone to a B. To see the skills of family members, mouse over their faces. Right, so this is what I've been trying to show you earlier, but it's not been allowing me to do so because the tutorial wants me to show you now. Enu, which is the name of our boy, has an F in brewing, D plus in irrigation, and a B in the arch. Selk, the maverick, loves her husband, as I told you. She's pretty good in brewing, basically sucks at irrigation, and is pretty good with the arch, because we discovered the arch. And Ket the brave loves his wife, as I knew. Again, he's pretty good with irrigation, not really good with brewing, and again, is really good with the arch. And now we have the arch as an advantage against the challenge of the coming age. Now, that kind of thing only shows on your direct lineage family members. So, Ket is our Primarch. He's the first one. When we move on to Enu, if we move on to Enu, and I'm assuming we are, he's going to be occupying this space here on the left. Whoever he marries will be here on the right. Now, if you choose a girl, the girl will be here on the left, and the husband will be on the right. Another thing to watch out for is just what these people look like. Keep in mind that in the Copper Age, pants weren't exactly the thing. So, don't mistake this as a dress. This is a dress here that you can see on Selk. This is not a dress. This is a tunic on Ket. Okay, so just to make that clearer, I'm going to move one of them off now. And what I'm going to go for is I'm going to grab that arch token. And then I'm going to grab, I'm going to grab the irrigation token. And no, I'm going to grab the brewing token because we're going to set that up. Right. And I'm going to spend our arch token on the boy. Right. So now there's other people on the track. Neighbors have arrived to work with Silk and Ket, but they want beads too. Beads tell legends. Legends give families powers, which is basically the long-term objectives here. When they land on spaces with beads, they will pick up beads. It's whoever gets there first, and then second. Now, if a bead is formed underneath somebody, you can't pick it up from underneath you, and you can't pick it up by falling back. You can only pick it up by moving forward onto the spot. So, as you can see, this bead back here and this bead right here can't be picked up by those two individuals. Marinum and Makarama can't pick those up. Ket could move forward and pick these up. Silk could move forward and pick these up. This Sether Wenabebeth and Sabbat and Makarama could move forward to grab that one. And basically that's how that works. Okay? Kids don't appear on the wheel. They're just here. They're in waiting. It's not their time. When the time comes, there'll be a big gap over here. These guys are getting older as we go, and quite honestly, as you come to the end of the age, the end of life, then it's going to become time for Enu to take over. So right now, we're kind of spending his inheritance, but at the same time earning tokens. So, and we're trying to get beads so that, not only Enu, but his kids and his kids' kids will have better futures. So, where to? Well, what I really want is to make sure other people can't get that green bead. So even though I only have one brewing token, that's what I'm going to grab at the moment. And, I don't want folks to have that irrigation token either, so I'm going to grab that too. And yeah, that's limited by options, but I still have all these arch tokens, so it's okay. Besides, some people are going to make tokens with you. That's what the NPCs are really great for. See your legend progress. Mouse over the stack of beads, middle left. Okay, so I have 13 of 65 on this objective. Now, you saw people move back, you saw people move forward. When they move back, they make tokens with whoever they fell back to. There's a maximum of 3 and a space. So, here this is maximum occupancy. If I were to send Selk backwards to make tokens, what do you think is going to happen? Will she stay here, or will she move back to here? That's pretty darn close to the crux. We don't really want to be there. But at this point, the wheel's not spinning exceedingly fast, so that's okay. If I send her back, what's actually going to happen is, because this is full, but there's space back here, she's going to fall way back here. If this person wasn't here, she would stay here and make with this person. But, like I said, we're going to do this little gamble. Mostly because I hope to pick up this half bead here. With the irrigation that we just got here. And I'm going to move Cat forward. Continue to grab beads. 4 more points. Oh yeah. To see behind pawns move, mouse over their feet. Well, yeah. And quite honestly, they do kind of obscure the board. So, if there's like a stack of them, that can get a bit complicated to see over here. But that's what we have to deal with. Keep in mind what things look like and where things are. As you can see, the next arch token will take us to the green one. And this irrigation token will take us to this half bead. Okay, we're up to double A on the arch. It's going to be great with arches. Now, I can still get this even though I don't have a brewing token. I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to show you just because. By spending this, because there are no arch points forward of the one I'm standing on, this is going to put me to the what's called the limit. And I get to pick that up because I'm stuck standing there. I have to keep Selk from being too far back. And I still want the kid educated, so... But that's why I wouldn't have normally have done what I did. Because, honestly, it would have been probably better for me to make some tokens so I have more token diversity and more options. Now, I'm going to send Ket back to his wife. There's a demonstration of exactly what I mean. It didn't go back to here, it went back all the way back to his wife. Not because it's his wife, but because that was the first empty space behind him that was still a bit with somebody. Now, I could have her make tokens with him as well, or I could send her forward. I'm going to have her make tokens as well, because this is a lost cause. But there are still some half beats I can pick up there behind these folks. And I'm hoping to educate my kid in something other than arches. Ooh, a blue bead. Blue beads are worth 8 points. We We need to get out there. Only way you're going to get out there, though, is with slingshotting. So, first off, we move to the first brewing spot. Then we move to the second brewing spot. That gets us the Impetus of Love, and we pick up that half bead. Woo! Now, educate the boy and end the turn. Now, the thing is, I don't have a lot of brewing tokens, so I still need to get up here if I'm going to get that. And, another blue bead has appeared on the archway. That's mine, unless they use the limit. I'm going to leapfrog these folks forward. Now, there's a half bead here for me to grab. And then up to there. Whoop, AAA. Awesome. Okay. So that bead's gone. But we expected that. I'm going to now leapfrog over and grab that. Bam. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Rockin' the free world. Now, if I move Selk backward, she's going to be on this last rung. I'm afraid Murakama's about to die. Because the wheel's going to turn at least the one slot, and she's going to be eaten by the croc. That's not good. I could spend a token to move her forward, but it's actually probably advantageous for me to sit here, because one of these two will probably fall backwards and join us to make tokens. And having other people to make tokens with helps you make tokens. Now, if I stand still, don't put anything in here, we get 1 point, and she doesn't move. I will instead spend 1 token educating the boy, and end the turn. Someone went without a token last turn, and took a default action. Yep. Parents reflect on life for 1 legend point, children will play. Playing children have a chance of improving their skills, but only a chance, and it's based on what they know. So kids who have Fs aren't going to improve much if you don't give them any education whatsoever, basically. Now, remember what we did with the archway before? Oh yeah, we can still grab that thing here. And because we need tokens, I'm going to send him back. Okay. Child is ready for his rite of passage. Start a new generation, click the child's white button. Click the button anytime before Selk's generation ends. Now, there's the white button. That shows his potential inheritance currently, but unsurprisingly he gets everything because he's the only kid. You can see Dad is sitting here on the edge, and Mom's way up here in the front. If I leave him here, he's going to die. The wheel spins faster at this point. Not just 1 point or 2 points, sometimes like 5 points. Okay? Someone standing here could end up dead. What we're going to do is we're going to give him the best shot we can. And we're going to go all the way up to the irrigation spot there. And hope. Oh, and see, now they're old. Old. And Mama is just going to sit where she is, because if she falls back, there's a risk where I am right now. And I think it's possible that they could die. And also, if she stands where she is, she can catch either of these two falling backwards and make tokens with them. So again, I'm just going to stand still and make 1 point. I'm going to educate the boy, though. As you can see, he's a complete numbty with brewing. So we're going to, as long as, consenting adults and all that. There we go. Kid now knows a bit more about brewing. Oh, and we were able to make a token. Excellent. Right. And we didn't die. Yay! So, moving up. We should continue to move up, but this time we're going to move up with the goal of having the wife move back and making tokens. So we're going to move up to the irrigation spot again. And we're going to send Selk back. Because they love each other, they get that little animation. But again, no child appeared, so that's alright. Now our brewing token. Okay. Now, again, she's back here. Murakama is still alive and hanging on. If I fall back, I'm going to be dangerously close to the end. So don't want to do that. But I can spend an irrigation token and end up here. I could spend a brewing token and end up here, or I can spend an arch token and end up here. And going forward at this point is okay, because that means we're going to be way at the front. Or I can stand still where I am and let the wheel turn, which is fine. But if I move one of them forward, I can then move that one back next turn. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move one forward. And I'm going to educate the boy some more in brewing. See, now we're B, A+, and AAA. She made 1 point because she didn't do anything. And because she was there, she was able to catch someone falling back, and we made tokens. Worked out pretty great. I can now send Ket back. And I can send Selk forward. And again, I can educate the boy a little more. A+, and AAA. Great. See, and because we're bouncing between these spaces like this, I'm keeping someone safer than the other one, but at the same time still making tokens. Now, see, no one came backwards, but she moved forward. That's because the AI is getting afraid of dying, as it were. Because no one's backwards, I'm going to have to move her forward anyway. The only space available at the moment is here. Now, I could move Ket back and then move her forward into that space, which is exactly what I'm going to do at the moment. See, the Crocs just ate everybody who was in that space. I could have moved her forward into the arch and left them all together, but now I got one more chance to make tokens with Selk. The last survivors of the generation, as it were. And one last chance to educate the boy. So now he's A+, AA, and AAA, and he gets an inheritance of 2 brewing tokens, 1 irrigation token, and 4 arch tokens. And I press the white button, and we move on ahead. Rite of passage starts a new generation. Press not ready if there's time to improve child skills. Success depends upon them. Inu thought to compete in a race to catch 5 animals. He and the other boys were told, search the farm for 5 elders. Learn and bring their stories back. The quicker the better. So, not ready means we go right back to where we were. Ready, basically attempt the right, means we go ahead. Now this can either work out or not work out. It worked out. We have positive traits. Inu found elder men and women wearing ceremonial headdresses. Carp whispered, river sustains life. Falcon cried, sun is life. Cow belched, earth gives life. Ram trumpeted, seed starts life. And crocodile growled, death invigorates life. Inu took the time to listen carefully. Although nearly last to finish, he won respect by answering the questions perfectly. So Inu will be the, what, loving, maverick, brave, or neighborly? Let's make him Inu the Brave. There's Inu the Brave. Oh, and now look at this. This is different. Start a new family by finding a mate. Hurry, the competition is quick. That's right. Move Inu to meet pawns wearing white. Favor the pawns with hearts. there's two things to be said about that. Okay, so we have 3 potential wives. There are 3 potential rival suitors and ourselves. So there's 4 husbands for 3 wives. If you don't grab a wife, they're going to dry up. And at bottom rungs, you don't have a lot of other options, especially if you're a man. If you're a woman, yeah, you can have some children out of wedlock and through some dubious means. Possibly. So, hovering over each of the potential wives tells us something about them. Nemeth has a GPA of B and 3 tokens. Karajet has a GPA C plus and 3 tokens. And Comnet has a GPA of C and 3 tokens. So, we love the ones with the red hearts. And that's all we know. We don't know if they love us back. We know we love them. We love both of these 2, and we don't love this one. But this one's the smartest one of the 3 and would be best making tokens in the future. You have to decide for yourself whether it is worth having a C plus versus a B for that sake of the love. I'm willing to go with the love in this case, but also because I have quite a few arch tokens and she happens to be sitting on the arch. Now, this is not a guaranteed prospect. Right, so we move to the space, we get the courtship thing. I can choose to ignore if this is someone I don't really actually want to be involved with. Let's say I was moving to a location in the hopes of moving to somebody else. But in this case, I did move here purposely, and I want to press the court button. One overcast dawn, Inu noticed Kajorjet bathing in the river, playing, really. She seemed as carefree as an otter. In childhood they had often swam together. The memory prompted Inu to dive in and frolic invitingly. They later rested on the shore in each other's arms. Aw, very romantic. And we have a friend, which is an ally. May your message be blessed with many children. Well, lots of children is an advantage and disadvantage, but we'll get into that at a later point. Click on the flame. Now, we do want to try for a child right away, because without any children, we're screwed. And because we didn't have any backup children in the previous generation, there's nowhere to fall back to. So we have to have children. Now, what do we have? We have Pamose, a boy. As you can see, he starts with F and everything. Because it's a new generation. Even though we discovered the Arch, he wasn't there when we discovered the Arch. So he starts out not knowing anything about it, even though it's the family's thing. Karajet is decent with irrigation and not much good with else. And as you can see, Inu the Brave, because we spent so much time educating him, is actually pretty darn good with everything. So he's going to be our main focus in manufacturing tokens. He loves his wife, and Karajet loves her husband, so they both love each other. Plus, we have this ally on the table, which is a random thing that you won't be able to predict. So this green female here, name ally boost pawns. Okay, so I can use her as I would my husband or wife to play off of, and also to make extra tokens. She's handy. If I use her to play a brewing token right now, I'll bounce off of her and go to here, and then I could play another brewing token to bounce the next one off of both of them to here. Unfortunately, there isn't much use for me doing that, because, as you can see, there's no beads in those places. There's a bead at the arch. I'd have to move forward 2 to get that. There's a bead here at the irrigation. I'd have to move through that irrigation to that irrigation. I can also send Karajet to make tokens with the group behind her back here. And that might be a thing to do. Especially since our ally's probably going to move around, and these people are going to move around, and people are going to be in different places. But we also need to educate the boy, and that means we need to keep tokens coming in. So while we have 48 of 65 points to promote ourselves to the new generation, also, before I promote, I want to make sure I have as many kids as I'm going to have that I really want, because they get C's in those new skills for the new grade if they're around when I take the promotion. If they come around after I take the promotion, they start as F's, just like this kid did. So, we don't want to promote right away. in this case. I'm going to send her back. And she made one irrigation token as kind of expected. And the boy's going to need to start getting an education. And because we discovered arches aren't going anywhere soon. So we're going to spend arch tokens on the boy. Okay, so I'm on an arch, she's on an arch. We can now send the wife forward. Bam! Grabola. And we have Spark. So we're going to try for a second child. Why? Because we need backup. Marriage isn't guaranteed, and making kids isn't guaranteed, and their survival of the kids isn't guaranteed. So you want to have some backup kids. That way, if Pemos doesn't pan out, you can try Salith. Or whatever. Watch this. Oh yeah. And here comes kid number 3. Nope. That's okay. Now I need to educate the boys. Now, as you saw, I got a C- right away off of Sala. Sometimes other kids get more out of an education than other kids. Go figure. Now, every time that Mom and Pa get together and make tokens, there's a chance that there's going to be a love child. So, keep that in mind if you're trying to keep population under control. Tasty brewing token. We're going to go for that right away. And uplift. Tale in the life of Inu. Personality determined his reaction. For the result, click the L. So here we get choices. That's nice. The year's harvest was immense. Amphoria for storage were in desperate demand. Inu traded with family savings for a potter's wheel. He hoped never to plow or weed again. But how to begin? Inu practiced throwing pots with the family. Inu watched other potters ply their craft. Inu copied the farm's existing pottery, or Inu started making pots for sale right away. Now, gotta tell you, you can choose the same thing in similar circumstances, and different things will happen. There's a random chance element behind the choices. There may be something about like how your trait versus which choice you choose is going to play out, but it's not clear to me. And certainly I've chosen the same thing twice and not gotten the same result. So I'm going to try throwing pots with the family. They grew hungry and hungrier in a time of feasting. The youngest nearly died. Eventually his skills improved and people actually paid for his pots. Other potters shunned Inu. And we've been promoted. Right, so we get to actually choose now. The inevitable challenge of the age won't arrive for a long time. Now, when do challenges of their age arrive? As discoveries are made, basically. That's what kicks them off. Once the discoveries have been made and a heroic deed has happened, that's basically it for the age. So I could continue to try to advance socially again, move up to the noble class. I could try to make another invention, this time at the craftsman level, or I could try for heroic deed. Now, heroic deeds can pay off big, or they can also kill your whole family. So, be careful. Right now I'm going to go for Legend of Invention. Why? Because I want to set up a couple branches of family at the moment. As you can see, I now have 2 boys. Maybe at the next level we'll try some heroism, because then we'll have the backup boys' family to play with. As you can see, our tokens have changed. We've now got this kind of clay-looking person, and we are on the higher wheel, and there are more skills. There's plows, and wheel and axle, and forging, and sailing. Right? And we still have the tokens that we had before, and we still have the skills we had before, but we've also acquired skills at the new level. You can see Inu is okay with wheel and axle, and but nowhere near as hot as he was with this other stuff. And Karajet is probably better in every single category on the new stuff. So, and now the boys have C grades in the new skills. Handy. Right, and we still haven't even moved the wife. And because we moved up, I'm sitting on top of a bead. I didn't collect because the game moved me. I didn't move onto the bead. The game moved me to there. Falling backwards again won't collect beads, but it does give me the opportunity to try to collect the beads at a later point. So I'm going to send her backwards. And we made a wheel and axle token, which is nice. Now, 2 full schools of thought here on educating the boys. You can, A, use these tokens to move down and grab opportunities down here. B, use the tokens to educate the boys so that they have these residual skills and they'll make tokens of their own when the time comes. And they'll have opportunities to make grabs. Strategically, it can be difficult to decide which to go with. Archers are going to be around for a while, so they're not worthless to educate your kids in, but irrigation or brewing might go away anytime there's an innovation down there. So maybe we'll spend the arch tokens on education, we'll spend the other tokens on grabbing points right now. We also want to educate the boys in the new skills, because we don't want to just leave them with C's. We want to move them up to A, ideally, or even better, because they're the future. They're the ones who are going to be making tokens. Remember what we did with Inu here. Inu had at least an A rating and everything, and look at those ability to make brewing, irrigation, and arch tokens. So, what to do? Well, I'm going to spend arch tokens. Now my ally is still down here, but I can't see her. I can only see the folks down here on the labor track when I'm down there. I can see the beads, and I can see the spots because I hold tokens for those spots, but I won't be able to see the spots where I don't hold a token for it. Oh, and there's a gold bead. So this is part of why you want to go promote socially. A, your kids are less likely to die randomly. B, you get better chances at stuff. Right, so if I move ahead to plow, I'm going to grab that half. And if I move backwards, see, if I only have 1 ship token. If I move forward with the ship token, that's going to just sit me there. I actually have to use something other than a ship token, because then I can use the limit to grab that. Forge, wheel and axle, forge. Plow. I've already used my plow. If I move backwards, I'll end up on this wheel and axle spot, and I could then try to play for forge wheel. So that's my choice. If I fall back, I manufacture tokens. He would, maybe make a wheel and axle token. Maybe I'll make some other old tokens. If I send him forward, he'll get a chance at that 10 points. 10 points would be nice, but we only have 10 out of 90 points right now. The future is probably going to be for the kids. Kids need to be educated. I'm going to fall backwards. Okay. As I said, made some tokens. Educate my main boy with the arch skill, and I'm going to educate the secondary with the irrigation skill. Now notice, because I have no arch tokens now, I can't see the arch spots down here on this track. And these people still love each other, which is awesome. It means we can do the tricks that we can do before. Ah, that's why I didn't tell you though. This has got a full 3 spots. Now, because there's a full 3 spots, I can't move into this spot and bounce off my husband. I have just wasted my turn, which was I did on purpose so you can see what the heck happens. And I'm going to finish the video here. That's all the basic points of the game. Hope you found this useful and interesting, and hopefully I'll make some more videos covering some more advanced strategy and placement and what the other tiers look like, and maybe it's an overview for you. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye!